Hello, my name is Tim Grasso, and I would like to welcome you to the first half of our ebook introduction on behalf of Fuller's David Allen Hubbard Library. Our key points here will be: what is an ebook? What are the restrictions on ebooks? What are the requirements to download an ebook? And what kind of ebooks does the library own? Now, what is an ebook? An ebook is a digital version of a published work. It may or may not have a print version. Library ebooks have the advantage of being able to be accessed from anywhere in the world, and can often be used by multiple patrons at the same time. Ebooks can be read on your computer, your laptop, or on a handheld electronic device, such as an e-reader, smartphone, or tablet. Ebook publishers place a number of restrictions on the use of their products that might be unfamiliar to people used to borrowing and reading print books. In order to protect their copyright and track usage, ebook publishers place limits on how ebooks may be accessed and saved. For example, you can't go online, find an ebook, and print out the entire book. That would be copyright infringement. So each publisher sets a certain limit on the number of pages that can be copied, printed, or saved to PDF. This limit can vary from book to book, depending on the publisher and length of the book. For example, some might state a 100-page copy limit, while others limit you to 10. Fuller has no ability to change these print and copy limits. When downloading a PDF chapter, there are no additional software requirements beyond your standard Adobe Reader. In most cases, a PDF reader will already be installed on your device. Now, in order to download an entire ebook offline, you usually need additional software. For downloading on a desktop or laptop computer, you will need to install Adobe Digital Editions, or ADE. This download is freely available for Windows and Mac, and can also be accessed on the App Store and Google Play. After you download ADE, you will be asked to authorize it on your device. You will be asked for an Adobe ID, but you can choose to authorize the device without it. If you plan on reading ebooks across multiple devices, however, I recommend using the Adobe ID. This will sync your ebooks across devices, so you don't have to download all of your ebooks to each individual device. For patrons wanting to read ebooks exclusively on their phones or tablets, most vendors recommend Bluefire Reader, which is also freely downloadable. Ebooks provided by our vendor, EBSCO, additionally require you to create an EBSCO host account in order to download ebooks from their site. This username and password is created by you and is not linked to your Fuller ID in any way. EBSCO uses this login to track which books are being borrowed from their platform and for how long. I recognize this is an annoying additional step, but the good news is that you only have to create the account once, and then sign in whenever you wish to download ebooks offline. Offline ebooks can be read anywhere since they don't require Wi-Fi or data to be viewed, and the website won't time out on you a couple of hours into a research paper, which, believe me, is more annoying than creating an account. Most ebooks also have time-restricted downloads. EBSCO will allow you to check out an ebook for up to 7 days, while ProQuest allows up to 3 weeks. This can also vary by what the individual book publisher allows. However, I want you to know that if you run out of time with an ebook, there are no restrictions on the number of times you can download the ebook. To repeat, if your time is up, it will not restrict you from downloading the ebook again. While all ebooks have checkout time limits, a few of our older ebooks also limit the number of users that can access the ebook at the same time. These ebooks are typically limited to 1 to 3 users at a time, and the limit applies both to online viewing and offline downloads. You will be notified by a pop-up message if the ebook's use limit has been met. You can either wait for additional copies to become available, or join a digital queue to be notified by email. Wherever possible, we really do try to buy unlimited user ebooks that don't have this limitation. Before closing, I want to quickly address the difference between multi-user and individual ebooks. As an individual, you have more access to ebooks than an institution like Fuller. As a student, you can go on Amazon and find a Kindle ebook relatively easily and cheaply. As an institution, Fuller has to find multi-user ebooks licensed for institutional use. This is where library vendors like EBSCO and ProQuest have to come in. This means if you find a Kindle ebook you want the library to own, Fuller can't just purchase the Kindle version. Since it is for individual users, loaning it as a library copy would be copyright infringement. To now both summarize and review, print, copy, and save restrictions apply both online and offline. To download an EBSCO ebook offline, you will need to create an EBSCO host account. To download any restricted ebook, you will need Adobe Digital Editions for computers and Bluefire Reader for mobile devices. Offline ebooks have a renewable checkout period, but some ebooks may have a limited number of concurrent users. There are less steps to reading an ebook online, but downloading avoids page load times and internet connection issues, so there are pros and cons on both sides. Thank you for watching, and be sure to check out Part 2 that demonstrates how to find and download ebooks in the library catalog.